week's chapter of One Piece, Luffy, the captain of the Straw Hat Pirates, reluctantly takes on over 5,000 different subordinates in the creation of the Grand Straw Hat Fleet. Pour up some sake and kick back, because this week's chapter of One Piece was a great finale to the Dressrosa arc. If you thought the Straw Hat Pirates were strong before, wait till you see them now, because they're now being backed by 7 of the most badass pirates and their fleets. We're talking about Orlumbus, Leo, Ideo, Bartolomeo, Harudine, Cavendish, and let's not forget Sai. They are going to be joining the Straw Hat crew as their subordinates, whether Luffy likes it or not. This week's chapter was a lot of fun, mostly in the reactions from the characters. First and foremost, Luffy. This guy is truly going to be the king of the pirates for one big reason that I think Bartolomeo made very clear in one panel of this week's chapter, and that's that Luffy doesn't really want to have like a child-parent relationship with all of his subordinates. He wants to see them all as their own individuals. He wants them all to be truly free, just like himself. That's what it really means to be a pirate in the world of One Piece, to have one's freedom. That and the fact that Luffy just doesn't really like the taste of alcohol and he doesn't want to drink this massive cup of sake, but luckily for him, Zoro's gonna be there to do it for him. What's really funny about this chapter is that Luffy actually tells all of these pirates, look, I'd like you to be my subordinates, but we don't need to make this all formal or anything. If I want your help, I'll ask for it. If you need my help, just ask for it. That's the way it's gonna be. Continue to have your freedom as the pirates and adventurers that you want to be. But when they're actually told this, they decide, well, we're just going to make ourselves the subordinates of the Straw Hat Pirates, whether you like it or not. And then that's when they decide to party! Yeah! I wonder what Nami, Sanji, Chopper, and Brook and Momonosuke are up to! Another really good thing about this week's chapter is that Fujitora is continuing to help out the Straw Hat crew even as they're being attacked by these multiple alliances and the Marines. He actually has decided to take all of this rubble and drop it down right on the Marines, and even thanks Luffy at the very end of this week's chapter. What's really funny about this scene though is that Sengoku actually ends up giving him a hard time, and it's just weird seeing that sort of goofy, over-the-top, anime-styled reaction from Fujitora, a character who is very serious in the series. So it's been a long time since we've had an official new member of the Straw Hat crew, but honestly I think this is the best consolation prize because he now has a number of amazing allies, and this isn't even counting all of the people that they've run into since their adventures from the beginning. This is just a giant fleet of amazing badasses with distinct powers, which I guarantee are going to pop up later on in the series. Whether all together or individually is yet to be seen, but I really love how at the end of the chapter, as everybody's partying, drinking, and having a huge banquet, that they discuss that this is a story for another day. So what's the rundown on this week's chapter of One Piece? I wonder what fighting fish tastes like. I imagine it's kind of like swordfish. This week's chapter was freaking awesome, guys! The Straw Hat Pirates now have a ton of brand new allies, and I have to admit, I feel a little bad for Bartolomeo. I mean, in many ways, he still gets what he wants. He gets to be the subordinate of Luffy, whether he likes it or not, but I always imagined that he was going to be like the key candidate for next member of the Straw Hat Pirates, although at the same time I was always wondering how he was going to handle the whole abandoning his crew situation, and that's not going to happen, which honestly I think is the right thing to do, really, at the end of the day. As much as I'd love to see him there, him abandoning his crew would be a real dick move. But honestly, this week's chapter was just infectious and a lot of fun, especially when you got to see all of the characters hanging out in those last couple of panels, especially big ol' Harudine who's sitting there drinking and they're all just partying and enjoying each other's company. This is basically what I've been waiting for to cap off the end of the Dressrosa arc, because whenever there's an arc like this which involves like a big kingdom that's being saved, like say Alabasta, it's usually followed by like a big celebration of sorts, and this was that celebration, and luckily it had some amazing dialogue, some really great artwork, and some really great funny moments. Like how at first Luffy is completely concerned over the fact that he doesn't want to look over this many people. He doesn't necessarily want the responsibility, and it only takes just a second later for Usopp to mention that they're going to be having fighting fish to eat, and he immediately changes his demeanor from being annoyed to just being hungry again. That's what's amazing about Luffy. I said it before and I'll say it again, Zoro is an amazing drinker. He can drink about anybody under the table. I mean, did you guys literally see, like, the size of that sake cup? It was like a Spartan shield. So at the end of the day, I think it's a really good thing that the Straw Hat Pirates got some brand new subordinates, because I think they're going to need some help, especially with the introduction of the character of Kaido. I have a feeling they're not going to be able to do all of this by themselves. I wonder if we're going to see any of these characters again anytime soon, or if they're going to save them for later arcs, or maybe more for like the finale of the series. I imagine towards the finale of One Piece, they're probably going to have another war-like situation, maybe like the War of the Best, and this is going to involve all of the characters that Luffy and the Straw Hat Pirates have actually met and run into, and they're all going to join together for one final amazing battle for One Piece, whatever the hell One Piece is going to be. Despite that, this week's chapter was just a lot of fun. The Straw Hat Pirates got a lot of brand new comrades. The artwork was good, the dialogue was funny, and just really, really fun all at the same time. This is just one of those chapters of One Piece that was a joy to read for just about every reason. The dialogue and all of the artwork. There's just so much going on in all of the partying out on the boats and everything. Fujitora and his group just destroying everything with all the rubble. Just a fantastic chapter of One Piece. That's really all I have to say about this one. And it's a chapter that any One Piece fan should definitely check out. But let's face it, if you are a One Piece fan, you've already read it and you know it's awesome. So I'm going to give this week's chapter of One Piece a 5 out of 5. That's right, my friends. Let's get ready for the next big arc of One Piece. Before you guys leave today, please tell me what you thought about this week's chapter of One Piece. What did you think about the formation of the Grand Straw Hat Fleet? Do you have a favorite member from that 7-pirate group? And what do you want to see from the next arc in the One Piece series? Please tell me in the comments section below. Thank you guys for watching my review. Make sure to like it and share it with your friends and subscribe to the channel. You guys should also check out our weekly podcast show, The Powerful Nerdcast. In the most recent episode of the week, we just did an interview with voice actor Carrie Means, who is the voice actor of Frylock from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. It's a really funny interview. We also talk about the Death Battle Wolverine Raiden, and we also discuss video game addictions. So make sure to check that out. It's a really great way to communicate with us. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby.